Welcome back. Now joining me to discuss youth in sports are two young and talented guys in their own right, Matt Dowdle and Jason Vonik. Now guys, let's talk a little bit about the policies that some leagues have. Matt, I'm going to start with you. What league do you think does it best when it comes to letting amateurs come in?
You know, my favorite league is definitely the NBA. I want to concede that first, the NFL and the NBA are just the top regardless. I want to see players be able to go through college at least 1 year. But I like the NBA for the fact that when they go to the NBA, when players are drafted, they generally have a better time and easier time transitioning there. When they get there, the systems aren't much different. I know there's a lot of different strategies and ways to play basketball, but you can generally learn it pretty quickly. Whereas in the NFL, a lot of college type of atmospheres, you have shotgun offenses, spread offenses, and that's not the way they run in the NFL. So just because of the transition, I'm going to go with the NBA. But between the two, they're both all right.
All right. Well, I think the NBA is a good one. I like that they stay for 1 year, but I think they should stay for more, and that's why I'm going to go with the NFL and football. I think that staying 2 years it really helps, especially because football is such a physical sport, and it's a big transition to make. You know, there are guys that are going to be much bigger than they've seen before, and it's also nice seeing juniors and seniors really contributing at the end of the season.
I have to cut you off there, though, because at the same time, while it's nice to see them contribute, in terms of just going into back into the NFL or into the NBA, they don't need to see that contribute. And the size difference between college and the NFL is really not that different. The bodies are going to be big regardless, maybe a couple pounds, but it's not too bad.
Now, Matt, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think the 1 year policy that the NBA put in is a little bit hindering the NCAA right now, so I'm going to side with Jason on this one. Now, transition-wise, which sport do you think is the hardest to transition into?
I'm going to go with football again. I think, again, with the big bodies and how it's a lot more physical, I think it's really difficult to go in there as a rookie, and it's very rare to see rookies come out and just play really well. Take an offensive lineman, for example. They're going to go up against guys who are on the defensive end.
It's not a matter of whether they come out and play well. It's in terms of transitioning. Yeah, they eventually will get there, but the point is they at least are able to play. I have to entirely disagree. The MLB, when players get drafted out of the MLB, rarely do they ever actually be able to play. Do even first rounders get out and be able to play in the MLB, like the majors, in their first year out? For example, take the 2008 NFL draft. By the end of the 2008 season or the following season, all the first rounders were able to play at least one game of the season. Most of them more games than that.
Wow.
Whereas on the other hand, all the first rounders of the MLB played a combined 1 inning of Major League Baseball, while the rest of them were shoved in the minors. The following year, 2009, similar idea, where most of the first rounders were shoved in the minors, and only some players got to come up. I think that's the harder one.
I think I have to give it to Matt on this one. The MLB takes a lot longer to transition.
They have the
football is still always football. Right. Last question for you guys. Right now, there are a ton of phenoms in sports. We all love to see them. But which do you think does it best right now? Which do you think contributes the most?
I'm going to branch out a little bit. Most people will think NBA, NFL. I'm going to go with the NHL. You look at Steven Stamkos, Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah. This guy has definitely stepped in through his first 3 years of playing in the league. For example, the last 2 years, the guy's been fifth in the league in points. In his second year of the season, he led the league with Sidney Crosby for goals scored. And he's let Tampa Bay's record improve every single year since he's joined and especially this year, where now they are fifth in the playoffs, going against Pittsburgh in the first round. Each year, the team has steadily improved, and Stamkos has established himself as one of the deadliest scorers in the league, if not the deadliest. And I just don't see who could probably be better than him right now.
You look at improvement, I think that you got to look at Derrick Rose, and when I think of phenom, I think of someone who's exciting, who you would want to watch. And with Derrick Rose, we know he's an MVP candidate. We know his statistical categories are going up for career highs, but he's almost got 4 times as many three-pointers this year than he did in his first 2 years combined. And you look at the Celtics, the Heat, the Magic. They were all projected to do really well. He's kept the Bulls in, and not just in it, but they've been at the top of the league for a long time, even with Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer. It looks like the Derrick Rose we saw at Memphis, who made it look easy to go to basketball.
Definitely. Both guys in the MVP contention. My guy would be Steven Strasburg. In a couple years, maybe we'll see him getting better after his Tommy John surgery recovery. Time for a quick break, but when we come back, Kurt the Man Lestan and the redheaded wonder Andy Harris will square off to talk a little postseason hockey. Stay tuned.